Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. Happy Monday it is, I hope, for everyone. And as one of our consistent listeners says, great everything or good everything, everybody, right? This is how we do it. So, welcome to Daily Motivations for African American Success, where we've been rocking with you or doing this now. This is the 145th day of Daily Motivations for African American Success. For those of you, maybe it's your first time here, please know that this barbecue is for everybody. This daily motivation is for everyone. Although it says Daily Motivations for African American Success, we only say that because that is the book that we're journaling through. And it's written by Dennis Kimbro, who is also the author of Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice. So the food that we put on this plate at this barbecue is for everybody. So thank you guys for joining us. Good morning, Brandon. How is it going your way?
Good morning. It's going great. How you doing, sweetie?
Good, 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 good,
Good.
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 Got some rest yesterday after you and baby girl left. I tore the couch up. It ought to
Did
be
you
in
now?
jail now, the couch. Y'all ain't nothing like the couch sleep. I'm telling you, take you a couch nap. Sleep on the couch tonight. Ain't nothing like it. Man. So, yeah, I did. I got some good rest yesterday. Sleep, good sleep.
Good. Good.
So,
Good.
welcome, welcome, welcome. How was your yesterday?
It was restful. It was busy but restful. We did a lot. Really did do a lot. But you know what? And I was like fitting in naps in between. So we took the kids to the splash pad, and after that I took a nap. Before that I took a nap. So I just feel like I've been catching up on rest the whole weekend. Um,
Hmm.
for all the work that was done over the week. Because yesterday was I mean, not yesterday, but last week was a very busy
Yeah,
week for me.
yeah.
Very busy week. So I needed to rest up. My body was like, nah, you know what? But I still got things done that I needed to do. But I rested, and it was good too. It was good.
How
Even the
does your
rest of the
body
night.
feel? Like, how did cognitively, like, just overall, what difference has it made just to get some rest, to catch up on rest? Do you feel a difference?
I do. I feel like I'm still catching up. I feel like I'm just in this place where my body just wants to get some good sleep, and I'm enjoying it. I'm talking about like that good deep sleep, like you're catching up for weeks
Hmm.
type of sleep. So I
Yeah,
can't. I wish I could just sit in the bed, but I
yeah,
have stuff to do. So that's why
yeah,
I've been catching these naps, um, part way through. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I asked
yeah,
that question because we have people listening, and you guys, it is important. It is important to know how much rest you need, and to know when you need to rest
yeah.
and make it happen. Make it. I feel like I made some difficult decisions. Like I chose me this weekend just to kind of just because I knew that I needed just that deep sleep. Like I started longing for. I shared this with someone, like a front porch, a house in the middle of nowhere with a front porch that I could just sit and rock and think and look and see the cars passing by, grandbabies out, playing. Just taking it back to where life was so simple, right?
Mm.
And I think that's the kind of rest I was looking for, just to pull back. Like, man, the patio, I slept on the patio for, I guess that was
Oh yeah, tell
Friday.
tell them about that, mom. Tell them about the patio sleep.
Oh, man. I don't know what you want me to tell them other than it was like I had slept for days. I don't really know how long I slept, but yeah, I went out on the patio and laid back. Yeah, I was gone. I woke up trying to figure out where I was.
And
I was
it was hot
gone.
outside. It was hot outside. It wasn't like it was just cold
Yeah,
outside. It was very, very warm when you did that.
yeah, yeah. It was hot, but it was so enjoyable. So, do something out of the box today for yourself. And if it's get rest, get some rest. Get some rest. So let's check
That's
out the
definitely what
comments, Brandon. I didn't know if you wanted to. So Miss Brenda changed her words on me. But Miss Brenda, I don't know if you heard me say. I was giving a shout out to you when I came on about that good everything. Everybody, I like that good everything. I'll tell you something else I did yesterday. And KL, thank you. See you out there. Good morning. Hope everyone has a great week, is what KL says. KL, I don't know if you did it, but y'all thought about my granddaughter, the granddaughter, trying to sneak me. Oh,
Oh
that
yeah, yeah. Tell
just
them
took
about that.
all day yesterday. I know KL said he thought that was funny. Yeah, but I just kept thinking about it, kept thinking about it. And I woke up this morning and I saw she had left some notes on the refrigerator. Y'all, I have to take a picture of it, let y'all see it later. She decorated the refrigerator with, she called herself making a book yesterday. She made some homework for Tupac when he's next time he's here. I don't think it'll be Wednesday this time, but she left him some lessons. She made some lessons for him to do on Wednesday when he was here. There's two little cards on there, index cards on the refrigerator with. And Brandon, I don't know if you helped her do this. I guess that's why I noticed it
No,
because
I didn't.
she's got grandma written in a heart, and then she put all my little hearts around the card, and then she has one that says Kasali. I'm so smart, grandma. And I'm like, did Brandon help her do this?
I thought. See,
So,
I thought you did that. I thought you helped her do it because I didn't. I didn't do it. She wrote all that by herself.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I didn't.
I guess she
Which
trying to sneak us. But I thought about that. That kept
she
me
is. She is
so,
4 years old.
yeah, I
I don't know
enjoyed
how she did
just,
it. I
Grandma,
mean,
you
five.
trying to
Excuse me.
sneak me with the bear. And I was. I wanted her to think I was still in the bed. But that word sneak. So, all right,
Yeah,
y'all.
no,
Y'all just,
it's the way she said it too.
yeah.
It was like,
Hmm.
you tried to sneak me. Like it was an actual. Like she was cognizant that you had left the place and the intention that you had. Like
With the
she judged
bear.
with the bear. She
Yeah.
judged your intention.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. She walked by me like when she said it, I was here on the show and like with a little attitude, like, Grandma, you tried to sneak me. So, I don't know, y'all. So
Well,
that's a little spiel. Let's get
I was
into
gonna
it.
say
You got
before
something
we
to give us?
yeah, I was gonna say before we get started, I wanted to start the Instagram folks off right when we jumped into the passage today. So I did send you the stream key if we could get that started
So
because
we
I
won't.
know we've been cutting them off a little bit.
Okay. So they'll just come on in and skip the intro, right?
Yeah, yeah. If you want the intro, you got to go to the YouTube.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I see Big Mike's popped in. So great morning to you. All right. There we go, Brandon. We got the Instagram going, rocking for you. So good morning,
Awesome.
everyone. Big Mike says, thank you for rocking with us. Big Mike, good to see you out there this morning. He says, had a very blessed day yesterday. All right, all right. Y'all share those blessed days. Let us know when you feel that everything's coming to you,
Oh,
right?
I fell asleep texting Mike last night. Yeah. Okay, cool, cool. Well, on today is June the 24th. June the 24th. Let's see, make sure everybody's good here on Instagram Live. Good, good. We are up and live on Instagram. Okay, great. Welcome again to the In This Season podcast, day 145, with the powerful mother and son duo with my lovely mother over there, the butterfly and her son. So we just did a brief introduction. Um, and now going live. It still gives me a little bit of little bit of lag time, but you know what? It's good. People will get it when they need it. It's on there now. But welcome again. Today is June 24th, and the passage is drum roll, please. Reverse discrimination. Reverse discrimination. Before we do the title, Mom, I don't know if you've already done this about the daily motivations for African American success. Did you already give them the background on it?
No.
Nope. Okay, cool. Well, before we jump into the actual title, if this is your first time or if you've been here a couple times, um, we want to let you know exactly what we're doing here. We are reading through the book Daily Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro. This is a book that was published in 1992 by Dennis Kimbro to help encourage, motivate, and give affirmations to individuals of the African American community. We started this as a recognition and a celebration of Black History Month, But after 28 days, we knew we could not stop there. We got such a great response from our friends and family that we decided to keep it going and then to just let it kind of grow organically. So a little bit more about this book to let you know what you're getting into. Daily Motivations for African American Success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. In 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year. What it teaches will last you a lifetime. So we read a title, a quote from a distinguished African American. We go through the passage, give you our thoughts and insights on it, see what you guys think about the passage, have a nice little conversation at the cookout, read our affirmation, and get on out of here. All right? So thank y'all for joining us. Today's title, again, is Reverse Discrimination. Reverse Discrimination. And Mom, you put reversed. And it's reverse discrimination. I don't know if you wanted to change that or not.
No, and so
Yeah, what are we gonna do with it? We're gonna do with it.
shoot.
I'm just
Re-
saying.
yeah. He always trying to catch my stuff, ain't y'all?
I can't help it. I
I
got
know.
evil eyes, man. I can't help it.
What I need to do is start putting glasses on when I do this. But what I'll do is I'll
You need to
start and
stop
my
putting glasses on. Are you sure?
start.
Oh, okay.
I'll start it, and then I realize my glasses are not there, and I don't want to get up and go get them. And
Oh, that's what we doing.
every time I do that, I promise y'all I mess up. So grace.
Oh, you got it. You got it. All right.
Ooh.
Reverse discrimination on day 145. Reverse discrimination. All right. And our quote comes from August Wilson, who's a playwright, who said, "It ain't nothing to find no starting place in the world. You just start from where you find yourself." It ain't nothing to find a starting place in the world. You just start from where you find yourself.
I got it right.
All right. Here are a few questions to consider, starting the passage now. Here are a few questions to consider. In what direction are you headed?
Hmm.
If you follow this course, where
Hmm.
will you be in 5 or 10 years?
Hmm.
What have you done up to this point in your life? Is there anything in your past that you would change? If you could turn back the hands of time and live your life in reverse, what would you do differently? I thought about the last question and decided on some changes I would make. If I had my life to live again, I would love more. I would share my love with all those I meet. I would spend more time with my children exploring those things that interest them. I would not be inhibited to express my love openly. And when I am unable to give or express my love, I would offer myself in service. I would also be more considerate of family and friends. I would pay more attention to people. I try to keep close to them and express warmth and affection. I try more often to send a greeting of good wishes or a note of cheer. I'd be more careful to answer every personal letter promptly, to keep the channels of communication open, and to keep friendships expanded. I take the initiative to make more contacts, especially with those acquaintances I value highly. If I could live my life again, I would travel lighter. I would start barefoot in the spring and play into the fall. I would go to more parties. I would ride the merry-go-rounds. I'd stop to smell the roses. There is little I can do about the grains of sand that have already passed through the hourglass, but I can live my remaining years as if I had a second chance. as if I could turn back the hands of time. And the affirmation and motivation that we read 3 times, one time for you, one time for me, one time for the person that you're going to invite to the barbecue tomorrow, is none of us can catch up with yesterday, but we can walk side by side with today. Again, none of us can catch up with yesterday, but we can walk side by side with today. And last time, none of us can catch up with yesterday, but we can walk side by side with today. What do you think, Mom?
Brian, I have a question for you first.
Oh,
Why
okay,
do you
okay.
think this one is titled Reverse Discrimination? After reading the passage and the quote and the affirmation, what's your thought on reverse discrimination for the title of it?
Um, I think it is an entendre of sorts,
Mm,
and by entendre I mean where you get double meanings from the same reference.
hmm
Um, Reverse discrimination is often something that um, this is usually used when white people pull the race card on black people. You know what I mean? So, like, if you can
mm,
imagine um, someone saying that an African American person is discriminatory in reverse, as if discrimination had to start initially from Caucasian people, right? Whereas discrimination can be any type of thing, right? But that's something that I think um, is kind of a trigger, not trigger, I guess maybe a triggering or a polarizing term that if you just read it at first blush, it sounds like someone that's normally discriminated against being discriminatory themselves,
okay.
right? And
Okay.
then when you look at the entendre of it of that phrase, you're having discrimination on what you would do differently against. You're having discrimination on your former self, right? You're having discrimination on who you were as compared to who you are. You're uh, kind of projecting over your past with a lens of who you're projecting over your past and who you were with the lens of who you are and who you want to be and how you would do things differently, right? And so it's an entendre because there are these kind of double or parallel meanings in reverse discrimination, and you might think one thing, and I think it's a powerful literary device, a powerful literary device because when you read the title, you think one thing, right? From your initial response, or I'll say your initial reaction. But once you read the passage, you have a response, and that response is different than you might have originally thought. Much like your response is different now than you might have originally thought when you actually had the experiences on the times that you're reflecting about now. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So I think it has these parallel meanings and these like kind of ripple effects throughout time, whether you go backwards or forward. So that's what I think.
So I agree with the latter part of I take this as saying reverse the discrimination that you have put upon yourself and sometimes unknowingly. And I like the fact that this book, for the most part, every day gives us the ability to think about what we think about, right? To unravel, untangle your first impression of the title and then what you get. And it allows you to see that there's always more to the story. That
Mm-hmm.
there's always more to the story because you are looking at it from your very own perspective, your very own feelings and emotions. So it allows you to get outside of your box if you would do so. It allows you to think outside of your parameter, your perspectives, your experiences, your traumatic experiences. It allows you to grow by your way of thinking and how you share your life, not with just yourself, but with others as well. So I love, love, love. This one's kind of like it's already the show has already been had because it gives you so many questions to
Yeah,
ponder. and
yeah.
and by the time the questions was finished, absolutely, yes, I would. There's so many things I would change, but because I cannot change those things, I can change these things today. How I feel, how I respond rather than reacting now, right? So many things. So it ain't nothing, the quote says, or August Wilson says, it ain't nothing to find no star. I love how he words it, the English, right? Right?
Yeah.
It ain't nothing to find no starting place in the world. It ain't nothing, right? To start your starting place in the world. I'm going to say that. You just start from where you find yourself. And where do you find yourself today? And if you've been rocking with us, hopefully you've already found yourself, like where you are, and have a plan for where you're going and a roadmap for that, right? That you've written the vision, you've made it plain, and that you review it every day. And a part of reviewing it is coming here, is doing this with us, and watching this like-minded energy pull together for us, you know I can't wait for us, all this energy and this new perspectives and experiences about life and feelings about who we are and who we're becoming, not based on where we are coming from. Because once you move to a new city or a state or a new place, I will say, why would you, and we often do this, why would you even ponder about where you moved from? I remember moving to, Lord have mercy, Fort Walton Beach, Florida, y'all. I was in the grocery store, and they didn't have half of the things that I was used to buying. And I'm like, what? But I had to learn to adapt to the things that they did have. And it was difficult because I was not in the right mindset. I had that discrimination against myself. Whoa, it's me, right? Because there's always a substitute for something. Always. Because one thing about life, it's gonna happen. Like KL, tires go flat, right? Life is gonna happen to you. So you better know where you are and not be discriminatory against yourself. Walk in you. Walk in you. None of us can catch up with yesterday, but we can walk side by side with today. And that will form your tomorrow. So this one's good, Brandon. Back over to you. I'll read some of the comments if you want, and then turn it back over to you.
Sure.
And do you have any comments from Instagram yet?
Not yet. I got a couple people that have
Okay.
joined us, but no comments as of yet.
Okay. So I think we got our good mornings out of the way. Um, KL says it bothers me that I didn't teach my children like my mama taught me. She taught me everything, even at such a young age. Interesting, KL. Interesting. I
Mm-hmm.
just think we became busier people than
Yes.
our we in a non-productive way. Like even how the passage says, as it speaks about the things that he would do different. Notice how simple they are, meaning kind of simple. Because Brandon had this pop out for a minute. I would love more, spend more time with my children doing what they love, right? It's just, I feel like back in the day, there wasn't so many distractions and things weren't perfect by far, but I still to this day remember sitting on the porch, even with my mom's father, my great grandfather, my grandmother's father is what I should be saying. Yeah, my grandmother's father. I remember just a few conversations, hearing him talk about the old days, and especially my dad's father, because I lived with them for a while. Just the old tales. I remember those. They come back. The older I get, the more simple I want life to be. I miss sitting on the porch with family, even the ones I didn't
Yeah.
like.
Honestly.
I miss the conversations, the connections. And truth be told, y'all, when it all comes before us, I think we will miss the little things.
And each other.
Like, yeah, like man, having Brandon and grandbaby here, it just, man, it just and that's another reason, because I didn't, I'm always, when the babies are here, for sure, I'm always, and I used to do it with Brandon too, I'm always up, I'm going to check, right? So even though I was with Zolly, I always wake up just to make sure she's okay. I must have waken up maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 times that night, just waking up. And so that takes away from, if she moves, I move, because I'm checking. I was that way with Brandon. I knew Brandon was going to make some kind of move before he would make it. And I remember Red would be like, "How do you know? How do you be in there when he's getting ready to do it?" I just knew. It was just I just knew. And so
Mhm.
we will. I think if we pay attention now to the little things, like I know Miss Brenda has her grandkids for the summer. I'm sure it's taxing on her to have them all at once. But man, there's no better joy than that. Just being able to do it, you know. So
Yeah.
over to you, Brandon. I think I got through. So KL, I would love to know more about why you felt you weren't. Why didn't you? Or I don't know. I just feel like we need to have a conversation about that because it's interesting to me. Um, let's see. Mike says, Brandon, you shared something with me that was special, and I thank you for it. I never knew I never knew that it was a wow moment for me. Thanks. Darling, gonna tell
Mhm.
us what it was?
I don't, I don't know which part it was. It was me and Uncle talking. We always get deep.
Mike. Miss Brenda Davis says, Brandon, could this also mean that not using the power that you have or not realizing the power that you have? The reverse discrimination, I think Miss Brenda's talking about. She says,
Yeah,
could this also mean that not using the power that you have or not realizing the power that you have?
I would say yes. I would say
Yeah.
yes if that power is love,
Hmm.
right? I think so many times we try to seek power in so many places, right? We seek power in occupation. We seek power in money. We seek power in status. We seek power in materialisms, and consumerisms, and
Hmm.
things. We seek power um, in how fast or how high we climb. Whereas, that's not where the valleys, that's not where the fruit is. That's not where the grass is. That's not where the meadows is. That's not where the water is. It's at the bottom of the mountain.
Can I
And
ask you a
so,
question?
yeah.
Do you think, okay, so based on Miss Brenda's question about, and your answer, do you feel that this could be also love, about love of yourself? Because one of the things I think we really get twisted in is lying to ourselves about loving yourself. I think that's
Right.
one of the biggest lies that we tell and learn to believe, because I feel like some of the most um, people who are, okay, well, how can I say it? Some of the most dangerous people are those who have convinced themselves that they love themselves, and so they act out, right, in a way that's not
Mm-hmm.
them. They are arrogant. They are disrespectful. No, what's the word for it? No, what's they call it? No, when people, no, gosh, what's the word for it, Brandon?
For
Like
what?
they have no regard for anything or anybody. I
No
don't know.
compassion.
That too, but it's another one, like no limit, no filter or whatever,
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah. So do you think, based on Miss Brenda's question about that and your answer, she has something like you're discriminating against yourself because you feel you don't have that love to give. Ooh,
Well,
okay.
yeah, if you don't, this is actually something I got from one of the books by Don Miguel Ruiz, or his son Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., like the Four Agreements, The Mastery of Self, The Mastery of Love, which are great books if you guys want to read those. That's something maybe after this book we should go through the Four Agreements. It's incredible. Or any of those books. But there was a story in one of them that talked about this magical oven, right? Like if you had this magical oven that you could produce any kind of food that you wanted, you just literally open the oven, say what you wanted inside of that oven, close it, and then come back a couple minutes later and open it again, and whatever food that you wanted would be in there. So, right? So now imagine if someone, I mean, you put it, you say, I want some hot wings the way that mom used to make them in 1998, right? Then and you close it, go back, open it again, those wings are there. You want Thanksgiving dinner from the exact dinner that you had in 2012. Open it up, it's right there. Now, or you want pizza, for example, right? I got the family some pizza last night. Now imagine if you've got this magical oven and somebody comes to your front door, ding dong, and you open it up and it's a man saying like, hey, I got this pizza for you. But in order for you to get this pizza, you have to do whatever I say whenever I say it. In order for you to get this pizza, you have to do my every command. If I want you to jump, you got to say how high and then jump for me. If I say lay down, if I say then you lay down. If I say you go over here and hit this guy upside the head, then you do it. You know, that's if you want this really good pizza. Now imagine somebody saying that, and you have an oven that no matter whatever you want, and you say, you can say, I want the pizza that this guy had, and you open it up and it's right there. Now imagine what that's like, right? How you would say, no, of course not. I'm not gonna do whatever you want when I have this oven back here that can produce whatever kind of food I want. Now imagine if you didn't have that oven and you weren't able to leave the house and you were starving. There was no food. There was no way that you could leave the house, and you didn't have. And that was the other part that you couldn't leave the house, and you didn't have the ability to eat. And now somebody comes up to your door, and you can't leave, and they say, "I got this pizza for you, but you have to do whatever I say. You do whatever I say. If I say jump, you say how high, and then you jump. If I say lay down, you lay down. You're a lot more compelled to do whatever that person says because you're hungry, right?
Hmm.
And what I'm saying is that oven that can produce an unlimited amount of food is your heart. And you can create love inside of your heart without anyone else, except for God. Without anyone else, you can produce as much love as you want, and you won't run out. You can produce an unlimited amount of love inside of your heart. So what does it look like when, for ladies, that man comes up and says, I got some love by the slice. All you got to do is do exactly what I want. You know, how crazy does that seem, right? You're not. If you have the oven, if you know that you can create love all by yourself, then you won't settle for the conditional love of anybody else. And once you have that love, you can give it freely. Once you realize that you have that power, as Miss Brenda was saying, the power that we didn't know we had, you can give it freely, compassionately. You don't have to give it with limitations or conditions, right? Because that love is emanating from you. It's not a scarce resource. There's no scarcity associated with it. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't have value. Many times in the external world, we associate and assign value based on scarcity, right? How few and rare is this thing? Now it costs more because it's so rare. This is simple supply and demand. But in the internal worlds, value is not associated with scarcity, right? It's associated with abundance. So love, something that you can create abundantly without having to mix anything together. You can decide to love. You can that has an ascribed and associated value. So know that you can create that love within yourself right now and today, and it does not have to have limits. You know, it can have discernment, right? It can have proximity, right? You can decide on how close to let things or people that you love in. but it does not have limits. My Uncle Mike, you actually taught me this a while ago, some years ago. You said some dogs, like some of my homies, some of my dogs, or dogs in reference. Some dogs you have to feed. You feed by the bowl. Some dogs you feed, with a stick. Some dogs you feed by throwing the meat over the fence, and some dogs you can feed out of your hand. You know, so you can. It doesn't mean that you don't have to feed the dog. It's just you can control the proximity and the closeness for which they eat, and how close their jaws are to your hand, right? So it doesn't mean just go out there loving these rabid dogs that can bite you and harm you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's discernment, there's discernment and discretion and discrimination in a sense in that regard. But that love doesn't come from a place of scarcity. So that's my answer to Miss Brenda.
Okay. Brenda, you made me think about this. And I've written it out here and I'll share it. When you don't know who you are, you will always want to be someone else. When you don't know what you want, you will always want what others have. You're projecting your life outwardly. You're allowing someone to define you because you don't know who you are, right? And I tell you, the greatest fight that we have is the ones that we have with ourselves. But if you don't reveal that you're fighting yourself, you won't heal it, like Brandon always says. So when you don't know who you are, you're always projecting and looking of how to be. And most times you're looking upon someone who hasn't learned it either. So
Mm,
imagine that. Imagine passing a group of people fighting themselves, right? And then when you don't know what you want, what someone else has will consistently look good to you. And maybe, okay, maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's how I need to be. Maybe this is what I should do. And that has to come from inside. I posted something yesterday. The greatest prescription for healing is a look in that mirror. Stay as long as you need to stay, but don't walk away. Don't walk away forgetting what you see, what you saw, what you felt, what you know to be true. Don't walk away still blaming someone else, or still don't walk away with the vision of someone else in that mirror other than yourself and all
mm.
that comes with you. Don't walk away from that, right? So that's all I have, Brandon, other than it's something that I want to share, and I'm going to find it here. If you want to go ahead and comment and start bringing it down to close, I'm going to find this, and I want to read this as my last comment.
Okay. I wanted to also read something too. So I spoke briefly, and you asked me about the title in the beginning. You said, "What does the title reverse discrimination mean to you?" And so I typed it into Google, and it had the exact same thing. It said reverse discrimination is a term used to describe discrimination against members of a quote unquote dominant or majority group in favor of members of a minority or historically disadvantaged group. So it was um, discrimination from a minority group, quote unquote, against a dominant group. That is the definition of reverse discrimination. So I really like um, the thoughtfulness of the literary devices used in some of these passages, because it really is that entendre, those double meanings, those that mirror of perception, to be able to look back and say, okay, I would have done things differently here. But at the same time, looking at something that we can that's a kind of polarizing and pervasive phrase in our own history, in our own context, because reverse discrimination would be different if I was, if I was Polish, right? And we were all from Poland, and I said reverse discrimination, it would sound very, very different. The context would be different. But because this is daily motivations for African American success, we understand that there's a certain lens and context through which we see these words, and even in our place here in the United States, reverse discrimination has a different weight to it, a different, and we read into it differently, right? So um last thing that I'll say, because I think we have touched a lot of different things, is that love people and use things, not the other way around, right? Love people and use things, not the other way around. Don't use people and love things, because at the end of your life, you can't take the love of things with you. You can only take the love that you have for yourself and others. If you love things and use people, when the angels come to take your soul away from you, it'll be like pulling hair out of a wool wire. It'll be like ripping it. You'll be so attached to the things because you know that you can't take these physical things with you. It'll be very painful ripping your soul away from your body. But if you have love in your heart, peace, not love for the material, for things of this world, right? But your love emanates from somewhere that is intangible, that the flesh cannot touch. Then when the angels come to take your soul, it'll be like lifting a feather, a little feather on your finger. It'll be like, or pouring water out of a canister, used to water flowers. Very smooth and gentle and light. So that's the way I think we want to leave this earth, and so much spiritually is how we end. What type of end do you want, right? So let's not even just, if you notice in the beginning of this passage, they said, here's some questions to consider. What direction are you headed if you follow this course? Where will you be in 5 or 10 years? So the reverse discrimination actually started with a projection forward, right? And then it started to say, if you could turn back the hands of time and live your life in reverse, what would you do differently? But it first started with a projection forward, which I thought was interesting. I noticed that when we first read it, said reverse discrimination, but then the first thing that it spoke about was this projection of where you're headed in 5 or 10 years. So there's always this reflexive nature to life. And let's be, compassionate with ourselves and know that in order for us to have the thoughts that we're having right now, in order to be the people that we are right now, and in order to love ourselves for who we are right now, we must accept everything that has happened to us and everything that we have done to get here. Everything that you have done, seen, said, heard, has added and has aggregated to who you are right now. So in order to love who you are right now, you have to maybe not agree with, but appreciate everything that has happened to you and the lessons that you've gotten from it. What you've learned from everything that's happened in your life. You have to accept that. Not only accept that it happened, but accept responsibility for the way that it turned out. That's the first step in loving, in my opinion, yourself, is to accept yourself from where you are, right? Just like that quote says, it says, it ain't nothing to find, no starting place in this world. You just start from where you find yourself. Are you looking for yourself? Are you searching for yourself? You don't just wake up and say, I'm aware of myself. No. Where are you? If you have been displaced, to where? In order for you to know where you're going, you need a compass, right? You might not know where you are, but if you have a compass, you can go in the right direction, right? So, and that compass is your heart, right? That compass is your heart, and where it's aligned to is your purpose, right? Where's your North Star? Find a North Star. On the trajectory that you're going right now, where will you be in 5 years? If you stay committed to everything that you're doing right now, look at other past situations for people that were in your exact situation, doing the exact same things that you were doing, committing the same time to the things that you are committing to. Where did they end up? Ask these questions of yourself, make whatever changes that you need to make, have that reverse discrimination, but also have that reverse acceptance and understanding that life happened for you for this moment, and that power that Miss Brenda was talking about, you have it right here and right now. And you have it as much now as you did back then and didn't realize it. So do your future self a favor and realize it right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
And Brandon, the only way to get to, well, I'll say it in this way. If you use your GPS a lot, and sometimes, we may have to stop and get gas, and you haven't told the GPS you're going to do that. What does it do? It starts to reroute you from that
Yeah.
place.
Start going
So,
crazy.
right, it starts to just kind of trying to get you back on track because you had an assigned destination. You had told it where you wanted to be, and it used your starting place to get you there.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get off track, it has to reroute you. So sometimes, but you have to know where you're going. And then if you see that you've made a wrong turn, made a wrong decision or whatever, you don't go all the way back and put it in again. You just start where you are. Okay, I made a bad turn. I took a detour. Now get me there from here. So how do you still get there? Your there does not have to change, right? But where you're getting there from does, because it's always rerouting you from your current place, your current state, whether that be your mind, whatever. So I saw this yesterday, and there's a picture of a cup of coffee, someone holding a cup of coffee. You may have seen it, but I'm going to read it here. And it was on Facebook. You're holding a cup of coffee and someone accidentally bumps into you, causing it to spill everywhere. Why did you spill the coffee? Because someone bumped into me. Wrong answer. You spilled the coffee because there was coffee in your cup. If there had been tea in your cup, you would have spilled tea.
Spill
Whatever
it.
is inside the cup is what will spill out. So
Mm,
when life shakes you up, whatever is inside you will come out. It's easy to
mm,
pretend everything's fine until you're shaken. So we have to ask ourselves, what's in my cup? What's in my cup? When life gets tough, what spills over? Joy, gratitude, peace, humility, anger, bitterness, a victim mentality, a tendency to quit. Remember, life gives you the cup. You choose what to fill it with. I love it. And I'm going to add, sometimes people will bump into your cup and nothing spills out because nothing's in there. All right. So
I like
that
that. Send that.
is,
Send that to me, Mom. I wanna read that and share that myself. I like
I
that.
will. I will. And this comes from Light of Rumi. And I mean, there's a
Oh, that
lot
was
of good,
that was from Rumi.
yeah, there's
Oh wow.
a lot of good stuff on the
Do you,
page.
do you know who Rumi is?
I'll send it to you. No, who's Rumi?
Rumi is a famous Muslim, um, a legendary, I would say, Muslim poet, and
Oh,
yeah, he's and I think he was an Islamic scholar. But I promise you guys, if y'all like poetry, there is, and it probably had some rhyme to it in Arabic. But if you like poetry, one of the best poets I think to ever live was Rumi. Rumi. Um, the best poetry comes from the Arabic language. There's just there. I mean, as a poet myself, there's just nothing like it. And I invite people to learn a Semitic language. It is very different and much more dynamic than the Germanic languages like English or even the Latin or Germanic and Latin influenced languages. Um, the Romantic languages, uh, the Semitic languages are just a whole nother world that has what those romantic languages has, and then so much more depth and dimension to them. So, yeah,
mm,
share that with me because I love reading me some Rumi. But that's
I
all I got
will.
for y'all today.
All right, that's all I have as well. I've invited a few of y'all that I know listen to the Roomy page, just like it, or scroll if you don't want to like it, or join the group. But they have some very empowering things for growth. Like it talks about going outside, sitting under a tree, not with a book, but with yourself, and listening to all the things around you. And it's just he has some They have some beautiful things in there. So
That's awesome.
over to you.
Well, thank you guys so much again for joining us on this 145th day of the In the Season podcast with your host, the Butterfly, and yours truly, My name's Brandon Gator. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being here. And we're gonna end this show the same way that we do every single day, with a reading of the title, a reading of the quote from our distinguished African American, I think August Wilson, um, and a reading of the motivation or the marching orders that we are sent off with for today. We'll read it 3 times: one time for you, one time for me, and one time for the person you're inviting to the conversation tomorrow. So today's title was Reverse Discrimination. Reverse Discrimination. And the quote from August Wilson, the playwright, was that it ain't nothing to find no starting place in the world. You just start from where you find yourself. And if you like that type of writing, that kind of colloquial term, like using words like ain't and all these different things, then read some Zora Neale Hurston. Zora Neale Hurston books like Their Eyes Were Watching God. It's incredible, y'all, the way that it's read. But after a brief passage, we came to the affirmation or the inspiration or the motivation for the day. This is again 3 times. None of us can catch up with yesterday, but we can walk side by side with today. None of us can catch up with yesterday, but we can walk side by side with today. If you have to close your eyes and say it to really like put it in, remember you can love yourself at any point and any time, and you can walk side by side with today. Now, or none of us, none of us can catch up with yesterday, but we can walk side by side with today. Be present, guys. Love yourself. Create that love within your heart. It's abundant. There's no limit to it. Um, and find yourself. Search for yourself. Search for yourself. Who are you? Where are you going? Where did you come from? What do you want? What do you need? Right? Who are you? In a world where you can be anything. In a world where a man can be a woman, they say, and a woman can be a man. Where they got people thinking that they dogs these days, y'all. Walking around talking about some roof roof. In a world where you can be anything, why not be yourself? Right? In a world where you can be absolutely anything, except for God. Why not be yourself? It's only one you. It's a whole bunch of thems. It's already some of him, some of hers. When you don't know yourself, you want to be who they are. When you don't know what you want what they have. But in a world where you can want anything, why not want your own peace? In a world where you can be anything, why not be yourself? And that's all I have for you today. Thank you all again for rocking with us. Please go to the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We really appreciate it. And we love you guys. Mom, anything else from you?
Not a
Sounds good.
thing.
We'll see
All
y'all
right.
tomorrow, 7 a.m. on the End of Season Podcast, day 146. We'll see you there.